Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'll start by just talking about how excited I am for the season. We're 3 days into camp. It's been a great 3 days. I think there's so much to be excited about in terms of this season. Obviously, the new faces on the floor. We're excited about the offseason we had, not only in terms of bringing Kalia back, but Alyssa and Satu, and then I would say all the rest of the additions too. Sammy, Kalani, all the way down to our training camp invites. It's a really talented group, really talented camp, and we have roster spots to be won. So it's going to be a competitive camp. It's going to be a fun camp. I think our staff is really in a great place, year two, and happy to take your questions, but it's going to be an exciting year.
Hey, Nick, Elioff, goodbye, Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you.
You too.
So you just mentioned new big three, so much energy coming in. When you get to watch it, everything you've built over the offseason on the court during training camp, what's it been like to see it come to fruition and see those three also be the leaders that you're looking for too? It's
been great. They've played it. I mean, we're only 3 days in, but they've played at a really high level, and it's fun to see what they've sort of looked like already in 3 days, and to think what can come beyond that. Talked a little bit in terms of at some of their press conferences earlier within the last few months. I think their games all complement each other really well, and the good news is they make everyone else around them better. So super excited for what I've seen the last few days, and even more excited for the compounding interest that we hope to come.
Nick, Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Like Elioff said, nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks.
Just curious about when you brought in Alyssa and Satu, and then obviously, Diana retiring, BG going to Atlanta. Did you know, or did you have a sense of sort of whether Diana would retire, BG would leave? Because, I mean, you brought in AT and Satu before all of that happened. So I'm just curious if you kind of knew that something like this would happen, or if it was just kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing to sign those two?
I hate to give a vague answer, but it's kind of neither and all of the above. Like, these things don't happen in a vacuum. You also don't have all the information when you go through an off-season. Things are changing constantly by the day. So our goal was to set out and make the best team we could with the information we had. And so I think people tend to think like, you know everything and everything happens all at once. I can tell you that's not how it happens. Things are changing by the hour, by the day in free agency, and so our goal was to make the best team we could, and we're really happy with what's come of that.
Hey, Nick, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, 3TV, CBS 5. Good to see you.
You too.
It's with so many new faces for fans this year, kind of getting to know this team. What is your vision for how this team will look and how this team will play?
Obviously, you should ask Nate that. It's his call in terms of sort of style of play, but I envision a team that can play really quickly. I envision a team that can shift up, shift down in terms of positional size. I anticipate us to have the ability to be really aggressive defensively and, like I said, get out and run and space the floor. And we've got players who can pass and players who can play make. We put an emphasis on versatility, pass, dribble, shoot ability, and I think we've been able to accomplish that. So I think you'll see a fluid style of play, one that gets up and down the floor, and one that can really share the ball a lot.
Dana Scott, Nick, it's good to see you again.
You too, Dana.
Arizona Republic. Just wondering about how this offseason you brought in some front court players with Thomas, of course, Sabali, and Kalani from Dallas in that deal. How important was it to bring those players in and pretty much kind of replace what obviously Brittany was, but even though she's a generational talent, it's so hard to do that, and having a model similar to what Thomas had in Connecticut with Brina Jones in the middle and having Thomas there in that base defense.
Yeah, we're not trying to replicate anything anyone else has done, whether it's here in the past or whether it's things that these other players have seen in other teams. We're trying to be our own version of the Phoenix Mercury. But certainly, like, I would say Alyssa and Satu both play some of the most valuable positions in this game, and that's, size, strength, and skill. They both have those. And so certainly thrilled to have them and have them playing together. I wouldn't say we're trying to replicate anything. We're just trying to chart our own path.
Hey Nick, Brendan Clean, Phoenix New Times. A little bit of a bigger picture question. Kalani's one of the only players in the league under contract next season, and that was a big talking point. You heard a lot from front offices with the uncertainty around the CBA. I'm just curious how you manage that. Obviously, building a roster this season, ideally, you'd probably like to keep a lot of these players around long term, but not knowing whether you for sure can.
Yeah, it's we've talked about it a little bit. I know it's been written about. Like, I think this offseason is going to be one unlike any league has ever faced ever before. It's so unique. And then within that, in a more narrow lens, obviously there aren't very many people that are under contract past this offseason, with Kalani being one of them. So Kalani's a great value add in terms of her ability to play on the floor here and now. That's the ultimate reason we were excited about having her. But certainly there's a contractual element that's really appealing too. I can't say what happens or what doesn't happen in terms of her or any other player, but having somebody who's locked in at a number is valuable.
Nick, Jeff Metcalf, right here.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi. So when the deals were made and you ended up having no picks in the draft, can you just talk about the process of trying to fill out the camp roster, find the kind of players you're looking for to give you the depth you need?
Yeah, our scouting department did a fantastic job. Our front office, Fleur McIntyre, Preston Fawcett, Trinity Elliott, Charlie Turner-Thorne, they've done an amazing job kind of preparing for the draft. And even though we had no picks, we treated it just like we would a draft if we had some. Obviously, there's always the ability to trade into a draft. So we were there, we were locked in. Didn't end up happening, but we got multiple players that we had rated in our top 30 that just happened to go undrafted, and we were able to bring them to camp. So excited about our ability to see those players, and we thought we got some value even though we didn't have any picks.
Hey Nick, right here. It's Aya Abdeen for
Hi,
Ball
Aya.
is Life. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. So I have a question about Sammy Whitcomb's championship pedigree. The team has spoken highly about her pedigree, especially she won 2 championships with Seattle. Can you talk about Whitcomb's potential to being a difference maker in Phoenix contention for a championship?
Yeah, absolutely. Sammy's been a humongous add for us, and I would say not just on the floor but off the floor. Everything we heard about her leading up to her signing and everything we've seen the past week, the ultimate pro. I mean, she sets the tone from a work ethic perspective. She treats everybody properly, and obviously she's seen what winning takes at the highest level. There's a reason she's still a pro and has had such a long career, and it's the work she puts in off the floor. It's her ability to impact the game during the 40 minutes, and it's the way she treats people. So we're thrilled to have her, and we think that she'll really set a tone from a work ethic perspective and a character perspective.
2 more questions?
Hey Nick, Stephen Prejean Garner from PHNX Sports. How you doing?
Hi, Stephen. Great.
Nice to talk with you again. Can you just kind of speak to, as things shift to being more positionless and versatile, how you evaluate talent that will stay aligned with the things that the head coach needs to be as successful as he could be in terms of facilitating a roster?
Yeah, I think versatility, and there's certain skill sets like that hopefully any coach can use. This analogy has been used before, but it's our front office's job to go get the ingredients, and then it's a coaching staff's job to cook the meal. And we just try to get them as many good quality ingredients that they can use. And so you mentioned it, versatility. I think there's certain skill sets. I mentioned pass, dribble, shoot. Like if you have players that can do multiple things and impact the game in multiple ways, I think a coaching staff should be able to find those and utilize those better than people that can only do one thing or only impact the game in one way. So, yeah, they'll do a great job finding ways to utilize these players, because I think they're all versatile, and I think they can all play multiple positions and impact the game in multiple ways.
Nick, Craig Fouey, ABC 15.
Hi, Craig.
Good to see you. Hey, when you're putting together this team and so many new faces this year on the roster, where did chemistry fall into your planning and your scouting and bringing people in, and how long do you expect chemistry to take effect here once they get together?
Yeah, that obviously takes time, and we'll have a new group, and and so we'll have to try to speed that up as best we can. But like I said, we're extremely excited about the additions we've made, and we did as much background research as we could in terms of the quality of character we're bringing in, the types of people we're bringing in. We're very confident in that. But there's no denying that takes time, and this is a short season. The W is a very short season, so we're going to try to expedite that. Good news is our coaching staff is they're extremely talented in terms of building an energy in the gym that people want to come to work every day, and I think that matters. And we're lucky to have an ownership group and a front office staff and a business side that gives us the resources to try to promote some of that with this practice facility, eating meals together, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to try to speed that up as best we can, but we just got to go through it and build it, and there's no substitute for time either.
Hi, Nick. David Veenstra, Desert Wave Media. In terms of Elena Pollo and Merjudatu Musa, when will those players report to training camp, and will they factor into the Mercury's roster this season?
Yeah, so both are still playing overseas, so impossible to know when they'll be done. So that's a little bit of a day-by-day answer. Obviously, we're excited about the talent of both of them, but we wish them the best in terms of their seasons. They're in the playoffs right now, and they're obviously competing as hard as they can to keep playing. And so I'll have an answer for you once they're done playing.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Next one, Nathan.
That's a tough act to follow right there. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Eliav, goodbye,
Morning.
Sports 360 AZ. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. So we've heard so much about the positionless basketball, right, of what this team is going to look like and the versatility. But what goes into your job of managing, balancing the positionless, and then also everyone understanding their roles in crunch time and in those times?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, Nick just hit on it. This is the season is short, right? So we don't have a lot of time. And I don't know who has termed it positionless. I love the term. We're just trying to figure it out and play with space. I've had to remind Kalani and Mac that they are fives. I would say everyone else is, we're pretty positionless. And yeah, I think it's coming into this off season. Last year, Nick and my first year in the W, some of the best teams in this league had elite fours. And, you can count on one hand how many fours there are that play at the highest level. And to me, what Nick in our front office did this offseason to go get Alyssa and Satu was unbelievable. So, yeah, we're going to figure it out. It's been great. We've had some players, our 3 or 4 of our starters be here for a couple weeks. And I think as professional coaches, you kind of try to put a plan together with the team that you have. And it's been really good for our staff to see some of the concepts and actions that we're working for. And the players have bought into that. And, there's going to be times where it gets a little funky just because, we're asking AT to play maybe more point than she has in the past, although she plays like a point guard, but you really need to start this set, right? And so we're going to figure it out on the fly, but they've really bought into it. And Nick has said it. Part of the positionless to me is just, it's more the versatility in the passing. We talk a ton about creating space. Our shot profile in the last 3 days has been unbelievable. We're trying to get to the rim and we're trying to shoot threes and do it at a certain rate, a certain speed, and our group is buying into that.
Hey, Scott, Arizona Republic. Good to see you, Nate.
Good to see you.
You coached Brittany last year. Now you got Kalani.
Yep.
What are some of the similarities and the differences, obviously, with Brittany being a generational talent and the tough shoes that Kalani has to fill, being that consummate 5?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to fall strictly on Kalani. It's going to be Kalani. It's going to be AT. It's going to be Mac. At times, you may see Satu there. I don't think one person is going to fill BG's shoes. She was one of one, and so we're going to have to do it as a group. We might, with Kalani, we'll probably do it with size and power, and then when we shift down, we're going to do it with speed and quickness and shooting.
Nate, Brendan Clean, Phoenix
Brendan.
New Times. Good to see you. A lot of turnover with the roster, but you'll get a second season with Kalia.
Yeah.
What has your relationship evolved like with her, and how do you hope to see her continue to expand her game and really, seize the opportunity here in year 2 with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is why you get into coaching, right? Like, I'll try not to get emotional here, but like, Ka is special. Like, she means a lot to me and like what we're trying to do. And her growth over the course of the year, like a year ago, we had just met for the first time, right? And our conversations, our relationship, our trust is at the ultimate level. And there's going to be good times and bad times in any relationship, right? So, but I'm like, we have a new group, but my whole challenge to her this year is lead. And it's not just with what you say, it's what you do. And we've practiced for 3 days, but she's been here for 3 weeks, and every day she has set the tone. And AT's right there with her, right? Like AT, that's who she is. But Kalia's step, she's seen some of the greatest leaders in W history with Candace and DT, and she was super respectful to the group last year, but it's kind of hard to lead when you walk in with 2 cornerstones in DT and BG. And so I think you're really going to see her kind of like spread her wings and take pride. And I mean, you've seen it this whole offseason, the ad free agents, right? Like she's really kind of bought into what we're about. And yeah, I'm just really proud of the step that she's made and the mindset that she's come into camp with. And now it's like doing it day after day after day. And, the more you do it, the more consistent it becomes. And so I feel like we're on solid ground with like where she wants to go and what we want to do.
Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Piggybacking off of Brendan's question,
Yep.
I know like D and BG and even Natasha Cloud talked about you being a player's coach and being able to relate to them.
Yeah.
From your perspective, why is it so important to relate to your players, and what can that do in terms of the product on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty of coaching is now she shows up. I just said some real good stuff about you. No, I think the beauty of coaching is you have to do it your way, right? You have to pick and choose. You have to lead. My big thing is I want to have fun. I want this to be joyful for the experience that we're getting to do this. I mean, I never dreamed that I would be here, and I'm sure a lot of the women that are playing. And, there's going to be good times and bad times, but like the new day mentality, when we walk in here, we're going to come to work each and every day. We're going to pour into the Mercury. Nick hit on it. It's a short season, and so I think there's good in that and bad. But like when we're here, let's commit to each other. Let's try to figure out ways to get better. My whole thing is like, I don't want my staff being here and our players here and health and performance there. We're all in this together, win or lose, and we're not going to point fingers. And so that's just kind of my approach. I think maybe some of it was just being an assistant for 13, 14 years and like picking and choosing different ways to maybe do it. But it works for me. And I just love being around our team and committing to them each and every day to try to bring out the best. Oh, shoot.
I didn't mean to take your spot. I just had one question for
You're
Coach.
right.
Kalia Copper from the Philadelphia Inquirer. What was the conversations that you had with Kalia Copper before the season, and just talk to me about what she's been doing early on during training camp.
Well, if you would have been here 5 minutes early, you would have heard this. But
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I mean, our conversations is strictly about been leadership and habits. And yeah, you're going to see that a lot. And, you know, to me, it's not just on the court. It's in the weight room. It's Ka's conversation in the meal room. It's engaging with your teammates on the bus. It's all the little things that make a difference in a good organization and a bad organization. And I've been extremely proud of Ka and where she's headed. We're 3 days in, but y'all check with me in 3 weeks. I'll let you know how she's doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Nate, Jeff Metcalf.
Hey, Jeff.
From what you learned last year about the league, the style, the way to win big in this league, what have you learned that you can apply with this group this season?
Yeah, you know, I think I talked about the importance of some of the fours in our league. Coming from the NBA, to me, the NBA obviously has good big players, but to me, it's a guards league. You know, the ball is in their hands a lot. So, you know, I think when Nick took the job, there was a roster that was here, and you're starting to kind of see more of his and my vision, all of our vision with the Mercury, like how we want to build this. We needed to get a little bit more physical with our fours. I thought Tosh did an unbelievable job for us last year guarding fours, but that was a lot to ask for her. And, you know, us going and you know, getting AT and getting Satu is just going to really give us more size, maybe just not at the center position, but just positionally. And then, like Nick said, like let's make this our own path, right? We've got different ideas.
Does that have to be out? Probably. I can't.
We're going to blame that on Ka. But yeah, I think you know what do we see last year that we learned, and then how do we want to play? And so you know, I think just with the versatility, the shooting, the playmaking, the passing, is hopefully you're going to see that, right? We want to create more possessions with our defense. We got to create more turnovers, get more defensive rebounds, and we want to play faster.
Morning, Nate. Craig
Morning.
Fouy, ABC 15. Hey, I asked Nick this about chemistry, and I'm guessing in this day and age of fantasy sports, we focus so much on stats and numbers, and we forget about camaraderie, chemistry. As a coach now, with so many new faces, I'm guessing in some ways you feel like a college coach with the transfer portal, with a whole new roster.
Yeah.
How do you get that chemistry and camaraderie built in such a short time?
Yeah, I mean, two things. I think my background, I still call it the D League, the G League, right? Being 6 years in that league, I think that's the toughest league in the world to coach in because your team is always changing and really none of those guys want to be there. And then, I just sent the front office like a little reminder. One of my daily devotionals was like character over results, right? And that was this morning. And it's a good reminder as we build this team, obviously with the trades that we made in free agency. The reason Nick and our front office went and got them because they were good players and good people. And we thought that we had an opportunity to build something special. Obviously, you're seeing who Ka is and what she's about, and AT and Satu are the same, right? And getting those two or those three to the goods and the bads, right? And can we respond? But it's also the rest of the roster and how we build that out, and getting good people is so important. And that's something that, you know, Matt and Josh have really talked about here, and Nick and I believe in the same thing, is our culture is not just this beautiful building. I mean, it could be, and people could, you know, hang their hats on that, but it's the people. We've got great people in here. our players are going to set the culture, but so is our staff. And I feel like we're so much farther along with our staff than a year ago. Everyone kind of knows what they're doing. We've been through the league 1 year. And so I'm really excited with where we're at and where we're headed.
Hey, Coach Mark McClune, Arizona's
Hey,
family.
how you doing?
3TV CBS 5. Good to see you. Hey, you talked about the personality of the team, but as the community and fans kind of get to know the team, how would you describe that personality or what you want it to look like with Kalia asking the questions? And then does this team, will it play like any of the other teams that you've coached in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to become who we are. What we want is a team that's gritty and tough defensively. We want to fly around. It fits who AT is. It fits who Ka is. It fits who I am, right? Like, we want to be disruptive, create turnovers, and then that allows us to play fast. Mac hit on it the other day when she was talking to some of you, just like, we want to play in the open court. We want to look to attack, and then if we don't have anything, then we can get into some actions. But I think the city of Phoenix, the X Factor, is going to be proud of the product that we're going to put on the floor. You know, this is kind of like we are kind of shifting gears or shifting teams a little bit. And so, like, I don't think this is where we'll exactly end up, but, like, this is a great step in the right direction for how we want to play and how we want to compete defensively.
Stephen Frijon Gardner, PHNA Sports. How you doing?
I like how you wait to the end to ask your question. I appreciate that.
Of course. I mean, talk to the person first. Last season, obviously, in the half court, knew you had two triggers with DT getting two to the ball in pick and roll, and BG getting two to the ball in the post. You have a new crop of offensive talents at the top of your roster this season. What's the desired kind of offensive approach or process in the half court specifically?
Yeah, I think the first thing is we want to space the floor. The next thing is we want to share it. And the last thing, we want to attack. We want to attack downhill. Who's going to be in what pick and roll? I think that will evolve, right? There's going to be times where AT handles and Kalia's setting the screen. AT handles and Sammy or Satu are setting a screen. Yesterday was kind of like the first glimpse of Ka and Satu handling, some of our other young guards handling, and AT sprinting into pick and roll, Max sprinting into pick and roll, and just finding them with rolls and shooters around and fill behinds. So, like, right now, you know, I have an idea where we're going to go in the half court, but it's kind of part of, like, the first question is, some of this is we're going to figure it out as we go, you know, late game situations, ATOs, that type of thing, because it's such a new group and there's so much versatility. But yeah, I mean, it's going to look the same as far as just our space and trying to share it. It's just going to look different. All right, thank you.
It's all right.
Oh, mic
new
on.
mic.
There we go. Here we go. Yes. Eliav, goodbye. Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you as always. New season. So obviously, you and Nate just talked about the leadership that you've been given and the responsibility. How has learning from players like Candace, Diana, Brittany helped you develop your own leadership style now?
I think playing with great players is a great thing. I think you learn different leadership styles. I think just going back to my 2021 season, winning the championship against the Phoenix Mercury, I think that team was full of leaders, but leaders in their own way. And I think you're able to be your best authentic and genuine self when you do it your way. You don't try to do it like anyone else does it, because that's what makes you who you are. And then your teammates, they also see you being your authentic self, so they feel inspired to do the same thing. So for me, just having great leaders, seeing them be themselves and also get me to follow, that was inspiring. So I'm just trying to do the same, do it my own way.
Dan Scott, Arizona Republic. Kyle, last season you played in the middle of the season in the Olympics, and then this offseason you played in Unrivaled. So even though you were on different teams among Satu and AT, how do you think that helped you guys prepare for this season in Miami compared to mid-season when you're going through the Olympics and traveling and having to come back and finish the season?
Wait, huh? I'm sorry. You lost me a little bit.
What I'm saying is, how do you think being in Unrivaled helped prepare you, not having to travel overseas or anything, compared to going mid-season overseas and playing the Olympics and then coming back and having to finish last season?
All right, cool. I got that. I think Unrivaled was great because just having everyone in one spot, just not having to travel. I mean, it might sound like a small thing, but not having to travel is a lot. Like, it takes a lot on your body. You're able to just be in one place. You're also able to just like connect with your teammates, other teams. I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me with Unrivaled was the no travel.
Greg Moore, columnist, Arizona Republic. Good to see you. I covered the Mercury in 21. I remember the finals.
Yeah. I remember too.
No doubt.
Per.
So the WNBA is getting like more and more attention, right? And then with the franchise reset, there's going to be a lot of fans who are interested in the Mercury. Mm-hmm. I'd like to kind of help introduce you to those new fans. So I'm curious about your origin story. Like, who taught you basketball? Where was it? Was it the driveway, the park up the street, the rec center? Like, what's your origin story when you learned the game?
Damn, this is a great question. I don't think no one has ever asked me this, unless I was doing like something else. But I'm from North Philly. I know y'all know that. Just a kid from North Philly, but I started playing basketball right where I live, 32nd and Berks. Whether it was shooting on the one-way sign, just trying to like hit it right in the middle, like, okay, that's the rim, or somebody nailing the crate to the one-way sign. Graduated from the crate to like right on the corner of the block. They took a rim from the park, put it up, and we just started hooping right there. It was like my cousins, a bunch of guys from the neighborhood. I would just stand there and would like kind of wait my turn, and then they realized I had a little bit of game, so they let me play with them. So kind of went from 32nd and Berks to 33rd and Diamond. It wasn't a lot of like opportunities for young girls to play in different leagues, so just played in the league with a bunch of guys and just guys from the neighborhood, just really loving and embracing the fact that I could hoop and didn't matter that I was a girl. That's why I thought it was super special for me. If you look back on draft day, I'm talking to Holly and I'm like, you know, this for all my guys on 32nd and Berks, just to give y'all something to brag about, because I think the things that those guys instilled in me, whether it was that toughness or that grit or just always having that chip on my shoulder because I wasn't as strong as them, but at times I was much quicker, much more athletic. But just the just the street smart and just that toughness, I think, that have been instilled in me since I was a little girl. I definitely got to give them another shout out. Shout out to the guys.
Hey, Kyle, good morning. How you doing? Joshua Huron with Anscape. It's been noted that you mentored Angel Reese in Unrival, and you've been quoted saying that, you know, you're just walking her through her finishes and making her realize that it's not just her going through this process. How did your time mentoring athletes in Unrival prepare you for just an increased leadership role with this Mercury team this year?
I think Unrival was super fun. I think Angel has had a lot of success. And I just saw like a little bit of myself in her, whether it was, you know, having a bad game of not being able to finish the ball well, or just kind of just growing through, like, being a great player. So for me, I've had great mentors, and I know what it feels like for a player of my caliber to, like, pour into you and give you that confidence and also give you that criticism. So it was just about, like, pouring into her and helping her grow as a person and as a player.
Hey, Kyle, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, 3TV, CBS 5. Not sure if you're interested in being a reporter when it's all said and done with your career, but let us know.
Okay. Remember you said that?
Yeah, okay. It's on tape. I think we're taking this live. How do you balance kind of the joy of, you know, having fun with your coach, having fun with your teammates, and also playing with that chip on your shoulder?
I think I have this really good balance of, like, joy, but there's times where you have to remind yourself of, like, you're playing the game you love. Like, this is your life. You know, as a kid, you play the game. You don't realize where it can take you. And for me, it's like, sometimes I just have to stop. Like, I am playing basketball for a living. Like, I am doing what I love to do. So just constantly reminding myself of that. And I think I just have these moments where I have that just wave of, like, gratitude where I'm just super grateful for everything, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, whatever. And yeah, I think it's just a constant thing. Like, I'm just grateful. Like, I'm grateful. Like, this is year 10 for me. People don't make it to year 10. So, like I said, I'm just grateful.
Hey, Kalia, Brennan Clean, Phoenix New Times. Obviously, Nate and Nick were both asked about style of play, and you guys are all learning each other, and it's early stages of all of that. But what excites you about the style and kind of identity of what this team can be on the floor when we finally get to see you guys in a couple weeks here?
Well, I think I love that everyone has locked in defensively. I think when you really, like, sacrifice just playing offense to, like, we're going to guard, I think we were very intentional from day one in saying that we want to guard. We know we can score, but we want to be able to rely on our defense at times. So I'm just excited that everyone has kind of bought into that. I mean, like, first day, the first thing was, like, defense. No one was just like defense. It was like, let's go, let's get it. But I think that's why it's so important for me to set the tone. Like he said, defense, I'm like, let's go, like, let's get it. So I was just excited for everyone kind of just following that energy of, like, yeah, we're going to guard, and really taking pride in that. So I think the coaches, and just a major shout out to AT, who was really the big dog on, like, yeah, we're going to guard.
What's going on, Kalia?
What up?
Stephen Prejean, Gardner's PHN Exports. Back in 2023 with the Sky, we had a conversation about the way defense has shifted to give you longer closeouts. Can you speak to how important the three-point shot is to your profile and the quick decisions to catch, shoot, or drive in that, you know, with your profile this season?
Well, I guess I got to give it to Nate, huh? I came here and I like to play in the midi. Like, I like to get to the rim, but, like, I like to get to my midi. So I guess I was a little delulu about the three. So Nate was just like, rim and three. And I'm like, all right. Early on, it was a little tough for me, but I just kind of bought in. Like, Shout out to Preston. Where you at, P? They showed me the numbers. They're just telling me how it can elevate my game and the things that would change. So I just kind of bought into it and worked at it. It's just getting in the gym and working on my finishes and then just shooting at 3 consistently. And I just see the difference in, the numbers. The numbers show it from 2023 to 2024. It was about getting more threes up for me. And then it just also changed my points per game. So rim and 3, you said rim and 3? I got you. No manure strips.
Hi, Jeff Metcalf. Nate was talking about how between you and AT and Satu, any of you could be out there initiating the offense, rolling to the basket, scoring that way. How do you see just the combination of what the 3 of you can do together?
I love that our offense is positionless, like I told you guys before. It allows us to be comfortable in an offense, but it also allows us to kind of float around, not to be like, oh, I'm stuck in this position. Like, no, we kind of go through spots. Everyone knows each and every spot. So I think with the kind of players that we have being so versatile, it fits the offense, and we're the perfect fit for it. So like I said, I'm just excited to play positionless basketball with such unique players who have a dynamic skill set. Thanks, y'all.
Hey, Satu. Kalia, goodbye. Sports 360 AZ, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Know we've had a lot of excitement throughout the offseason. You've already been here for a while, training, but now that training camp really got started and you really got to feel kind of Nate's style out there on the court, what's it been like alongside, of course, your other stars and new teammates?
It's been great. The standard is high, and those are the environments that I thrive in and that I enjoy working in. You know, every single day that I just come in here, I'm super grateful to be in an organization like this, building on legacy, being able to build on legacy. That's a huge honor for me. So just bringing my personality and my game into it. I'm a little brat, so I think other people here on the team are also brats, and I feel like Nate has really found people that mesh together, and it's just really fun.
Hey Satu, welcome to Phoenix. It's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. Take me through the first 3 days of training camp, and what goals would you like to accomplish with the team this year?
A lot of talking, a lot of communication about mistakes that we might make, but also preparation. So, you know, just obviously moving our bodies and prepping our bodies for a really demanding and hard season, but just keeping the fun with it. Basketball is something that we all love doing, and I think that this environment encourages that fun, and this environment encourages this openness to be better and challenge us to be better, but also, you know, just sitting in a family room, having breakfast together, building that team chemistry, because that is something that we will just have to work on a little bit more than other teams. They've been together, but it seems like it's a good fit, and the first 3 days were definitely really good for everyone all around. I think from the people that just came in to the people that have returned, for example, like Ka and Mac, they've been teaching us what it means to be a Mercury, and I think it's good to have that and a little bit of new vibe in there, so we can all be together.
Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. Satu, welcome again.
Thank you.
Last year in Dallas, you had 2 6'7" on the team, and now you have one here in Kalani. So how much did that help you with spacing and having the defenders crash down on them and then open you up? And how do you think that will help you with Kalani being here again with you?
Yeah. I love playing with bigs, and I think having Kalani on the team will be such an asset. She's very mobile, and she can, you know, run the floor, but she's also a good shooter and knows the game. Like, her IQ is really high. And I've profited of like having big people in the paint, because you need to guard them, you need to box them out. They will just rebound the ball, and you know, I love my little dish offs to the post and side too. So it creates this form of being able to rely on your people. And obviously I had 2 last year. We were really big in Dallas, but I feel like we're really big here too. And yeah, Lonnie's just in there working. It's really great.
Satu, Lena Washington, 12 News Phoenix. Welcome to the Valley.
Thank you.
You mentioned legacy here, so I'm curious what your knowledge of the Mercury and perception was before landing here, and how that's changed or been emphasized since you arrived.
Yeah, so the Phoenix Mercury are actually one of the first games that I also got to watch. Overseas, it's a little bit harder watching the games, especially due to the time change, but everyone knows DT, and I think that she's been definitely a role model in my life. I got to play against her in the W, but also in college for the first time, and that was really, really, really when I started, you know, being around her and like looking at her more. And to be able to stand on and practice on her court now, I was looking at a video and I'm like, okay, Diana Taurasi court, like how legendary is that I get to practice on here? You know, just growing up, watching women play basketball, like I really don't take this lightly at all. And it's a huge honor getting to spend time with BG and knowing how many years she has spent here, and that I don't want to let people down that way either, because that's just the pride that comes as a woman, as a black woman, to carry on the legacy of someone like her. I just love that. So it's a huge honor to me when I get to say that I'm a Mercury now, and to continue their winning. You know, Dawana Bana too. Like, once I realized she played here for this long, I'm like, oh my God, I want to be like her. You know, she has that long player style. So I've always been inspired by it, and sometimes I'm really still struck by saying, oh, I play for the Phoenix Mercury now. Yeah.
Thank you. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic columnist.
Hey.
Good to see you. Kalia's going to have this new role. She's going to be more of a team leader. I'm curious how you think she can advance your game. How will you two play together?
she challenges me, and we already had a conversation, especially around recruiting time. She was like, I'm going to demand a lot from you. And we looked each other in the eyes and we were like, yeah, good. Like, I want that because I know her drive as a player. I've played against her. She has won. So that's where I want to be. So I'm ready to learn. And even in I think the third practice or the second practice, she just huddled everyone together and spoke up. And I don't know her that well yet, but what she said and just being able to be accountable, hold us all accountable, and tell us not to settle and not to ever be not hungry, that instills something within you when a player like that says that, like, oh, you have won, you know, you could have some type of satisfaction to it, but she's still hungry, and I love that. Like, that is something that really fuels other people, and I'm very big on mindset. I'm very big on approaching something very seriously and preparing for it. So she's been setting the standard, and I just love that. I love when someone comes in and does things the right way and then demands things because, yeah, absolutely. Girl, tell me everything you need. Tell me everything you need.
Satu, Craig Fouye, ABC 15 Sports. How are you managing the nerves, the anxiousness, the excitement of a fresh start, of being here, of moving to Phoenix and being a part of this group?
By fully embracing it. I'm here now. I know what I am capable of. I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just happy to bring my game to the city. I'm happy to bring my game on the court, and I know people are excited when they see me play. So I love the game so much, and that's really what's having me excited. I was seeing the first Phoenix Mercury post of our practices, and I'm like, wow, all my smiles have been caught on 4K. I'm like, I need to be a little bit more serious, but I'm just excited. It's a new beginning for me, and I'm just grateful. Yeah.
Hey, Satu, Brendan Clean, Phoenix New Times. I know you've had a couple of seasons, unfortunately, set back with injuries and different things you've had to overcome. What have you been able to learn about yourself or about preparation or recovery or just anything going through those experiences, obviously coming into this season healthy and hoping to avoid that in the future, obviously?
Last year taught me a lot, how fragile a career can be, how determined I am to get back to the thing that I love doing, to play the Olympics, to really play the second half of the season, which I didn't have to, but I wanted to because I love the game so much and I want to be better and I want to develop. And pushing through uncomfortable times really makes you stronger. We're the pros at pushing through adversity, and I think I've been through a lot in my life, but it just really makes you appreciate times like this even more. And I think that just by growing and adulting a little bit more, I realize how important relationships are off the court, like nurturing your friendships, nurturing your family ties, but then also nurturing the work relationships that you build throughout the time, because in my past 5 years, I've met so many amazing people throughout the league, like whether it's media, whether it's trainers, whether it's, people in basketball operations, whether it's all these people that just come to the games and find joy in that. That is really something that fuels me. And I'm just ready to go. I feel like I had an amazing year before last year. I feel like last year was just a little holdup, a little setback, but really a reset for everything so that I can now just thrive in a new place.
Satu, Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the positionless basketball throughout training camp so far, and I know you fit that mold really well. So I'm just curious, from your perspective, how can this positionless basketball, whether if it's you guys on the Mercury or the league as a whole, how can positionless basketball thrive in today's WNBA?
It's really in today's way of playing basketball. I think people just become more skilled at everything. And I have always been a player where it's like, oh, I don't even know which position I'm at. I'm really versatile, and I love playing the point or, bringing the ball up. I love posting up. And the same goes for Ka and AT. We have Lonnie shooting threes. I was already saying, like, come on, the other bigs have to guard that too, So the other guards have to the other bigs have to defend down screen. So just having that flow and that unpredictable movement of like offensive players, that obviously we know what we're doing, but I think it's really hard to guard that because people are also bound to guarding position position tight basketball. So it's just going to be fun. It's a new concept for me, and I love it. So I'm just really excited to see how everything will come together. I mean, we're 3 days in. I've been here a little bit longer, but just learning the little concepts is really all about coaching, all about the things that trickle down, and then what we as leaders show, you know, some rookies or younger players. But in the end, it's still basketball. The ball has to fall in the hoop, and we're pretty good at that.
Hi, Jeff Metcalf. That being said about positionless, Nate was talking about how important it is to be good at the four in this league. And so to have yourself, AT, and even Copper can play that position some, both on offense and defense, how important is that to the success of this team?
Very important. It means playing for the team and not playing for yourself. As a four, you really control the game. And now we have multiple fours on the court, but we're also enabled to do so. So, you know, just by swinging the ball or having like a pin down action, a flare action, everyone can initiate those actions. And now it's really all about trust and finding that tie of like players with each other, sharing the ball, kicking it out, shooting these threes, driving to the rim, and really finding a flow within that. But I think as a four, to be able to bring it up, just like me and AT can do, but then also posting up, it frees up a bit like opportunities for other people. We're going to have Sammy Whitcomb, who's like the best shooter ever. I'm so happy to be playing with her with that 0.3 second shot. Like, that's just amazing. We space out the floor well. We can be inside, so we can find the shooters. They can drive. We have space, so there's just a lot of things that we can experiment with, and I think we'll have more of a feel for it all coming together, but it's a new way, very spread out. Thank you.
Hey, AT, Eliav Gabay, Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you again. So we've heard so much about the positionless basketball and the versatility of this team. We've talked a lot about it. For you as the floor general, though, how do you balance that positionless game while still building roles for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, positionless basketball is a lot of fun. You know, as a facilitator, you know, I'm surrounded by so many offensive weapons, and I think that's the great thing about it is, you know, any given night anybody can, you know, go off and it's their night. So right now it's just, you know, learning each other and figuring out how to play with each other. But once we get it, it's going to be seamless.
Alyssa, Craig Fouye, ABC 15. Welcome.
Thank you.
What is it right now that fires you up in the morning to come in this building and get going? So many new faces, new teammates, coaching staff, all that stuff. What is it that's getting you excited to come in the building?
Oh man, it's a blessing to be, you know, in season 12. So that within itself has me fired up. But it's a new opportunity. It's a new team. I'm in a great franchise, historically known for winning. So for me, I'm just excited with all the new players, all the new faces, and just trying to soak it all up.
Hi, Alyssa. Tia Reed for the next. Ka talked about you being one of the biggest proponents of this heavy defense-first mindset. Why was it so important for you to come in and kind of push that agenda from day one?
Yeah, I mean, when you're trying to play positionless basketball in up tempo, it starts on the defensive end. You got to go out there and go into a different mindset, kind of like goblin mode, where you just try to do whatever it takes to stop whoever you need to stop. So for me, defense is part of my identity. I love to play defense. I take a lot of pride in it, and hopefully, my teammates, we can all, go out there and be top 3 in defense this year.
Alyssa, Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. First off, I want to say congratulations on getting out of my boring hometown, Norwich, and transition here to Phoenix.
Oh, thank you. That's awful.
Second of all, you played at Unrivaled. You've been in this league a long time. How do you feel that Unrivaled did for giving you guys the money you feel you deserve compared to where you're at in the W and what the new CBA negotiations could be in the coming months?
I think the most exciting thing about Unrivaled was just not going overseas. As somebody that's, spent their whole career just playing year-round, it was a great switch up to, be in Miami and just, focus on what you needed to focus on. It's been a long time since I've just been able to work on my game and do the types of lifts that I wanted to do. So it was just really refreshing, and it was a time to just reset.
Hey, Alyssa, Steven Prejean Gardner, PHNA Sports. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm blessed. You are a player that's been very close to kicking that door down and getting that championship ring that you feel like you've aligned with for a majority of your career. What is it about Phoenix that aligns with that goal for you? And defensively, how do you feel like that is going to help you all get to that point?
Yeah, like I said, I've been very close a couple times, and I just felt it was time for a change and attack it at a different way. And, I came here with a lot of new faces, a lot of hungry people, and it's just going to be a lot of fun in an organization that's known for winning, has multiple championships, and just overall a franchise that's been at the top of this league for a long time. So for me, I'm just excited to add to that history that we know Phoenix Mercury to be, and defense is going to be a huge part of our identity, and I'm going to be spearheading a lot of that.
Mark McClune, Arizona's Family 3 TV, CBS 5. You mentioned the new faces, and just as the community fans get to know this team, how would you describe your personality on and off the floor, and maybe the personality of this team as you're learning it?
I mean, my personality off the court is, very reserved and shy, and when I step onto the court, it's a whole alter ego. I go to a different mode. This team, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, you got a lot of offensive weapons, a lot of people that are hungry and just want to play great basketball. A lot of young people willing to learn and just want to soak everything up. So for me, it's just going to be a fun, exciting year, a lot of up-tempo basketball, and just getting this organization back on track.
Alyssa, Hayden Silva with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
You, for the last 2 seasons, you've played all 40 games. I'm just curious what the physical preparation is for you and how you've been able to play every game, especially with the minutes workload that you have.
Yeah, I just go out there and I want to win. I'm not worried about the time spent on the floor. I think the more you're in the league, the more you know how to take care of your body and what you need. Coming to a franchise like this where, you have a facility and the nutrition, the strength part, it's hopefully going to age me backwards that I can continue to keep playing like this. But, it's just, you got to take pride in your body and continue to take care of it. I want to be in every game, and that's the plan for this year.
Hey, Alyssa, it's Aya Abdeen for Ballers Live. Take me through the first 3 days of training camp and how the team is progressing through the team chemistry, and what would you like to accomplish this season?
Yeah, I mean, we've focused a lot on defense early on. Like I said, that's going to be a big part of our identity this year. There's a lot of faces, a lot of people trying to learn the offense. I think we've done a great job so far, just trying to pick everything up. I'm just excited the talent that we have here, and it's only going to get better. Chemistry is still a work in progress, but overall, right now, it's just going out there and doing what you do and to the best of your ability. Thank you. Hey. Let's get together.
Hey, Kalani, over here to your left.
Hi.
Eliav Guy, Sports 360 AZ. So obviously, just starting training camp, getting used to everybody. What's it been like trying to kind of feel out the big three and how to complement them best so far?
It's been great. This is a whole new entire system. So it's gonna take time, but I have a great staff, great teammates. The big three is helping me as much as they can and talking me through it. So yeah, it's been great.
Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. Kalani, welcome again.
Hi.
Hi. Genes help a lot in terms of genetics. You're the daughter of P.J. Brown. What has he taught you along the way from when you started to where you are now, and how much of an influence has he played in your career?
My dad was obviously 16-year vet, but also I want to say shout out to my mom, who was actually my coach and was pushing me and dragging me to workouts and dealing with my attitude. Because of her, I wouldn't be here. My dad, hey girl. But my dad, he was more of the patient one, very quiet, very reserved guy. Taught me about positioning, taught me about grit, just my body, using my body in general. So, yeah. But both parents basically helped me, for sure.
Kalani, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Joshua Huron with Anscape. The other day you mentioned how Ka has held you accountable throughout training camp. Question for you, is there a specific moment or story that comes to memory of her holding you accountable and how that may have helped you?
Not at the moment, no. Like, I don't want to be too delulu about it, but I think when she addresses everyone, you take it when it pertains to you, but when your leader's addressing you, I think she's addressing everyone, so, yeah.
What's going on, Kalani? Stephen Prejean Garner from PHN Exports. Excuse me, how you doing?
How you doing?
Doing good. I think when people talk about spacing, everybody's thinking about the three-point line, but I feel like for centers of your type, the dunker spot is important. What have been the conversations about how to leverage the dunker spot off of the attention that the big three see, and how do you see yourself fitting within that?
And this has been my greatest adjustment, it's positionless. No wrong move is a wrong move. You can flash, you can do whatever. You can get to 8-3. Nate has given me the green light, and he wants me to evolve. So I'm very happy about that. And it's very uncomfortable at first, but I think once I get it down, it's gonna be better. Yeah.
Hi, Kalani. Erica Day, PHN Sports. Nice to meet you. How do you see your role evolving as training camp continues to progress throughout the summer? Just how do you see your role evolving?
Just being dominant, just being big, taking up space. My role has changed drastically, but at the same time, it hasn't. Nate's just challenging me to be more mobile, be up to touch on the defense, and just giving me a real shot. So.
Hey, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, 3TV, CBS 5. Just wondering the challenges of new team, a lot of new faces, blending everybody together and trying to develop chemistry in such a short period of time?
You know, that's a lot, right? We have a lot of time that we don't really have. But Nate's been very supportive. Staff is talking to us. We talk to each other. We all like each other and we're all gelling. So it starts there, right? And we have great leaders in AT and Ka. Also Sa. Me and Sa played together as well. But yeah, we're just, you know, we're taking it one day at a time. It's no pressure. But we want to make sure when we step in between the lines that we're going 100% every single day. Thank you.
Hey, Sammy. Eliav Gabay, Sports 360 AZ. Good to meet you.
Yeah, you
Good
too.
to see you. So we've talked a lot about leadership so far today. And, of course, a lot of that lies on the big three, but you're a big part of that as well. It can't all be on them. So how do you feel like your experience and your leadership has helped already in the start of camp and how you hope it continues to?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all lead in different ways. I think they're going to lead a lot, maybe more vocally sometimes, maybe more in their actions. But I think you know, we're gonna ask a lot of them throughout the course of the season. So I think if I can be someone that can come in and take some of that load off of them and let them focus on the playing and the making shots, the making plays, all of that, then you know, I'm happy to sort of take on some of that mental load and do some of the leading, some of the talking through stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of learning right now as well. So I'm trying to help facilitate some of that with some of the younger players. And again, I think just any way that I can help them be the best versions of themselves as leaders and as players, that's kind of what I see my role as.
Sammy, Hayden Silly with Clutch Points. Nice to see you again.
Hi, how are you?
Good. So obviously you have a ton of experience in the WNBL, winning MVP there, and as well as being a WNBL champion. Just curious, is it difficult going from your home country where you are the number one option to heading back to the WNBA where you're seen as sort of playing off of the big three?
I mean, not really. I think, you know, earlier in my career, it was difficult to try to be that player overseas and then come back here and sort of play a much smaller role. But I think the style that we want to play here, the way that we want to play, the way that everyone's sort of such an important sort of option in the offense, I think will be, it helps, I think, that I'm coming off of a season that's one where I was offensively, you know, a threat, and obviously I had some success in that. So I think it's going to just help our big three be great. I think you need support. You know, the years that I've been on successful WNBA teams, we've had, you know, 8, 9, 10, like we went deep. Everybody was incredibly important. Everybody had to come on and be a threat. Everybody had to come on and be that player. And obviously you figure it out as you go throughout the season in big moments who's going to take those big shots. But I think, you know, they need me to be that player that I am overseas here to help take the attention off of them. They're all going to get, you know, double teams and all those throughout the course of the night. So if there are opportunities for me to be aggressive and to make the defense, you know, to draw the defense to help them, I think that's important. So yes and no. Like, obviously I'm not going to be the number one option, but I do think I have to act like that when I have the ball so that teams respect me.
Hey, Sammy.
Hey.
Stephen Prejean, Gardner, PHNX Sports. How you doing? We have seen a shift in terms of the usage of shooters over the last couple of years to where now people like you are screening on ball. Can you speak to the advantages that you see created from that and just generally how you see that playing out into your role with the Mercury?
As me, a screener, is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you see a lot of that now. I think if you can set a good screen, you can get others open, but you can get yourself open. But I think primarily if you're a good shooter, they don't want to leave you, right? And I think it puts the defense in kind of a predicament of, do we help off you, do we not? Do both people go to me? Do they leave me to go to the person that's driving? you slip out of it. I think that's where we're going to look to do a lot of that kind of stuff, where we put defenses in those situations where they don't know what to do. They have to decide who they want to guard, and we're going to be a team that in every position has people that can shoot, people that can drive, people that can score. So I think I'm really excited about that. I like doing that. I did that a lot last year, I think. And I think it just helps create a lot of openings for other people. I think that's, again, what I see as my role on this team as well, to create that space. I hope that people, hopefully other teams will respect my, the shooting, and that will create a lot of space for other players on the team.
Hey, Sammy, over here it's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. Welcome to Phoenix.
Thank
so
you.
I have 2 questions. What are your goals you would like to accomplish this season in Phoenix, and how your MVP season in Australia helps you prepare for the upcoming season in the Mercury?
Yeah, I mean, I want us to win, but I think, we're at such an early stage that I think a lot of is foundational as well. Right now we're building blocks, we're setting the tone for what we want to be long term, and that's really exciting for me to get to be a part of that. I think, we want to do things the right way, and I think be really intentional about how we're doing that. So camp's really important, I think, in a lot of areas for that. Of course, we want to win, but I think we know that getting to a place where you're winning regularly and consistently is really hard in this league, and that's what we're trying, I think, to do now. We're trying to build all of those blocks so that when we face that adversity come season, we're prepared for it. So yeah, I'm really excited about contributing to that, and it was a big part of my motivation overseas this year. I wanted to have a really great year. I wanted to make sure that I was doing all the things that were going to set me up to be successful here and to help this Phoenix Mercury team be successful.
Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. Sammy, just wondering about how you grew up in Southern California, where DT's from.
Yeah.
She's gold standard, and then you played all your years, or a lot of years up in Seattle, backing up Sue Bird.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the greatest lessons you learned from her, and also, what do you see in some of the younger players possibly looking up to you in that same way that you looked up to?
Yeah, I mean, I idolized Dee growing up. I think a lot of us did. So it's really cool to be, kind of from the same area. In terms of, playing with Sue, and I was a 28-year-old rookie there, so that was, that was unique in its own way. But to have someone like Sue, I think what I learned most from her was she saw the value in every single player on the floor, and she knew how to use that, and she knew how to empower those players. If I stepped on the floor, I might just be a three-point shooter. That might be all I do, but she included me in whatever we were doing. She knew that I was going to draw attention. She knew that that was going to create space for Stewie, that was going to create space for somebody else. So if I subbed in, straight away she would call 1 or 2 plays that had me in the action. She valued all of us. She valued every single possession, every single person. And she really made us buy into that as well. And I think, she's probably the best leader I've ever been around in that way. She didn't talk all the time. She didn't say everything all the time. But when she spoke, you listened, and you knew that what she said was important. And so, I have learned so much from her over the years. And I hope that I can bring some of that in now. We've got a lot of really young, great rookies and people that are similar to me, and that they've maybe had a chance to try out previously, got cut, and have gone overseas and really worked hard and are coming back for this second opportunity, which was me. I did the same thing. That really resonates with me, and I'm really trying to just help in any way that I can, the same way that Sue was really helpful for me.
Jeff Metcalf, Satu was talking about how excited she is to play with you because of your three-point shooting, your ability to get the ball off quickly. Can you just go into a little bit more about what playing with her, AT, and Copper are going to do for you to enable you to do your thing?
Yeah, I mean, they're so dynamic. They get into the paint so easily. They get downhill, and everyone just collapses around them. I anticipate I'll get some of the most open looks I've had probably in my career, because people will leave me to guard them. They just will. They're too tough. They're too good at the rim. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about, hopefully, like I said, having some shot credibility that hopefully people will guard me, and it'll create those lanes for them. And then I just have to do the easy thing and knock down the shot right. So I'm really excited about it, the style that we're trying to play, the way we want to share the ball and find, the good to great looks for each other, I think is really exciting. And so far you can see the intent behind that in trainings. And it's just I think the more that we figure each other out, figure out what our tendencies are, how we play. It's going to be really exciting.
Hey, Mark McClune, Arizona's Family, 3TV CBS 5. Hey, as this town and the fan base gets to know the team, how would you describe your personality on and off the floor, and maybe just the personality of the team so far?
Yeah, I mean, the personality of the team, I think, is high energy, incredibly competitive, but we like to have fun. I feel like there's a lot of, not like goofballs, but just people who don't take it too seriously. Like when we're on the court, we do, but when we're off the court, we can have fun, we can laugh. So I really enjoy that. I think you need a bit of that. I think it can all be a lot sometimes. So I think if you can't have a laugh and enjoy just being around each other as teammates off the court, it can be, a long season. So I'm glad that we're already able to sort of get to know each other and have fun off the court. I think for me, I don't know, my personality, I'm pretty intense on the floor. I like to hype my teammates up. I get excited about little things sometimes. But I think off the floor, I'm pretty easy to talk to, easy to get along with. I like to be outside and be outdoors. I'm a mom, so that stuff is really important to me as well. But I really like engaging with people and getting to know them.
Sammy, Lena Washington, 12 News Phoenix. Hi. You talked about your journey and what you'd had to overcome to get to the W. I'm curious what your key to longevity has been now as you enter year 9 and how some of those experiences prepared you for this long career in this league.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really just been in the day-to-day. Like, I show up every day and try to get a little bit better. I think, this game is really, you get what you give, and I think if you're willing to put the time in and to give something every single day, you can get something from it. And you have to look after your body, of course, but I think for me, I've been able to do this because, one, I have not let a no or, an adversity or someone tell me that I'm not good enough deter me. I've just figured out ways to sort of, get better and improve and really make those sort of losses lessons for me. I've had a lot sort of throughout my career, and I've just really been able to look in the mirror and figure out, well, what's the lesson from this? How can I get better? And that's been really important for me. I think it's been a big part of why each year I feel like I am able to get a little bit better. And I love the game. I really love it. I have a lot of joy in playing and in these environments where you get to build something, where you get to work with people every single day that love what they do as well, and you're working for a goal. So I think, as long as I have those two things, I feel like I could play forever. Thank you.
Hey Celeste, Eliav Gabay, Sports 360 AZ. So you are one of the only returners from last year. I know that's kind of funny to say given the experience, but when you've had the chance to kind of indoctrinate the other players into it, what's it been like to be one of the only players to be back in this training camp?
Yeah, I think for me personally, just knowing like the facility and the people around us, I think it's helpful to just let everyone know that like this is pretty much a safe space. It's been a safe space for me, and it's a place to be who you are and be able to compete with everyone around you. So I've tried to kind of lean into all the people, the new people that have come in, and just remind them that it's okay to be who you are and to play your game. Everybody's pretty much looking out for you here. We have great people around us, so just trying to instill that in them a little bit, and then just talk and explain things that we kind of had similar from last year, but it's the same learning process for me. So just trying to go through it together and let them know that they're not alone in it either.
Hi Celeste, David Veenstra, Desert Wave Media. A lot of the talk so far amongst camp has been the pace that Nate wants to play at, in addition to the defense and the positionless basketball. What has Coach said your role is with this team this year?
Yeah, I think, I always had a defensive mindset. So just continuing to be a pest on the ball and, just be able to fit in where I can, hit open shots, keep the ball moving, and, finding open shooters. We have very, very great people on the team, great players, and Satu's been able to
slay since she's been at Dallas. And so just bringing her in and AT and even Sammy, I've been able to compete against Sammy overseas. So just being able to get them the ball and make sure that they're in great positions to score and help us.
Good to see you. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic columnist. I'm curious about the change in energy given all of the turnover, right? Like you were here last year, there's DT, there's BG, and then now this year it's a whole new thing. What's the difference between the energy right when you walk in the building?
I mean, I got great energy from them last year, but I think just kind of trying to maintain that energy and trying to spread that energy. I don't think it was a bad energy last year, but just trying to, rebuild. We got a lot of new players, so letting them know, what the energy should be like when they walk in, and just trying to keep that same level of intensity and energy, and just coming in here to compete. They were competitors last year, and so just being able to come in here and letting them know that the expectation here is to compete and to get after it and to work hard.
Hey Celeste, good to see you. It's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. What would you like to accomplish with the Mercury throughout this season, and how did your playing overseas help you prepare for the training camp?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the goal is to win. And I feel like my job is to do whatever I can to help us win in whatever position and role that is asked of me. And I think overseas, I think for me it was just more of trying to get comfortable and be confident. And, I'm playing against grown women overseas, and I've had to play against Sammy and other girls in the W overseas. So just being really confident coming in and just continuing to work hard and get better at the things that I struggled with a bit.
Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. You were on this team last year when it was the oldest in the league, and now your team is now in the middle of the 12 W teams in terms of average age. Do you feel like there's a different youthful energy this training camp compared to last year when you came and towards the end of the season where everyone pretty much had their roles established?
Yeah, I think it's youthful in the sense of just trying to rebuild and relearn each other. That group was kind of together for a while, especially Soph, BG, and DT. So just coming in and just understanding that it's youthful in the sense of having to learn things and trying to get everybody on the same page and on board. But I mean, DT, as old as she was, like she still came in and she put in the work. So, I still felt that youthfulness in her and how she worked and how she was around us and the energy in that aspect. But I wouldn't say it's too much of a difference, but I mean, obviously the experience may be a little bit not as high as it previously was, but just being able to gel and being able to move with each other. And, we talk about like the positionless basketball that we want to play here. So just having so much versatility within each individual player has been pretty fun.
Hi, Celeste. Tia Reed for the next. Due to some injuries, you saw a lot of time on the floor towards the end of last season, and we heard how much trust Nate had in you, even as a rookie. How do you feel like that experience and then also your time overseas has helped up your confidence coming into this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's, a tremendous confidence booster, but at the same time, I always had the mindset of coming in and working, coming in and, trying to still develop that trust. Trust is something that you have to develop. And it takes time. And so for me, obviously, it was good to, be of the part of the team last year, but just continuing to try to instill in my teammates and not just my coaches that, that they can trust me and, that we're all going to make the right reads and play together.
We'll wrap there. Thanks, Celeste.
Thank you.
Hey, Natasha, Eliav Gavai, Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you again. I know you're already used to Nate's style of running and gunning and a lot of the moving parts. How have you helped Kalani come along with that as the other big in the group?
See, that's barbecue chicken. She just adapt really fast, and so she makes it easy.
and she's really good. Everybody's just, it took like a day or two, but she's been great.
Hey, Mac. Erica with PHNX. How you doing today? Good to see you. How do you see your role evolving from the team from last year to this year? You obviously played a little more minutes than you maybe planned to last year, but with some more experience overseas, did a lot of winning over there. What's this year look like for Natasha Mack?
Just a confident Mack truck. That's all it is.
A lot more confidence, got the hair braided and such, so good luck on that. I'm wondering about where you see yourself this training camp compared to other training camps that you've been in where you've had to fight for spots. And you said yesterday, whatever happens, happens, but where does this rank in terms of training camp?
Listen, let me tell you, I'm more in shape okay? So I came back ready to dominate, and so just doing what I had to do, understanding, like, now I'm not a rookie, really. Like, I understand what people need, what people expect, and what I can give.
Right back here, Mack truck, of course. You can tell you're glowing right now. You have that energy about you right now. What are certain things about your game, specifically X's and O's wise, that you feel like you've worked on and improved this offseason?
Being more confident when I catch the ball, like not so quick to just get rid of it, causing unnecessary turnovers. Trying not to get cussed out by my teammates. But, just believing in me because they believe in me. We worked on it. And I've been using my left hand more, too. Yeah.
Tia Reed for the next. Mac, you spent a lot of time learning from BG last season. Now you have a new crop of veterans in with Satu and Alyssa Thomas. What are you excited to learn from them this year?
I'm excited to learn AT, how she plays different positions, like 1 through 5. If I can do that, that would be great. And, she reads the game very differently. Some things I would not, see it if she wouldn't have told me, but now I can see it, and so I stay in her ear, and she stay in mine, and I love it.
We'll wrap there. Thanks, Mac.
Y'all have a good one.
Hi, Seb. Eliav Gabai, Sports 360 AZ. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So the guard play on this team is going to be so important given how powerful, obviously, the forward play is. How have you been able to come along and understanding what your role is going to be coming off the bench or however it is for this roster?
I mean, as you all know, we have a lot of great players in this team who can bring the ball. So I know we have a lot of guards too, but having a lot of players who can dribble, who can start to play, who can create like a lot of things on the court, it makes your job easier, if it makes sense. So I'm really excited to see how we're going to grow in that part and then just like come together. And then really doesn't matter if you're a point guard or like you're just running off the corner, just like being there and enjoying the game. I'm really excited about that. So we will see day by day, I would say. Yep.
Hey, Sevi, welcome to Phoenix. It's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. What would you like to accomplish in Phoenix, especially how, I'm so sorry, especially how your overseas play helped you prepare for your second season in the W?
I feel like overseas I had great teammates, of course. I had a chance to play with superstars. I learned a lot from them, and being on the court and then seeing the game with them, like it changed a lot and it helped me a lot. So now I feel like after my first season in the league, just like learning the league and getting adjusted, like the game is also so different here. So just like learning the game and adjusting everything, I think it's going to be better for me to catch up with that and then help them on the court, just be whoever they want me to be, you know. I think, yeah, just playing overseas and sharing the court with them and coming here, it's always like a advantage for me. So I will try to use that.
Hey, Seth.
Hi.
Steven Prejean Gardner, PHNX Sports. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. And just kind of watching you over the years, it feels like your IQ always stands out before anything else. I feel like that's something that's shared with the big three, but the other players around this team as well. Can you speak to how you've kind of seen that play out in conversations about scheme and things like that in these first couple of days of training camp?
I really appreciate that, first of all. Yeah, I mean, it's just so nice to have people around you who is like actually paying attention to details that you always want to pay attention as a guard. So big three and the whole team, actually even Coach Nate, like what we are trying to bring to the court and the details that we are trying to like make better. I feel like if we can make them like perfect or even close to perfect, it's going to help us a lot and everything is just going to go with the flow. So I can see that the IQ is going to be so high on the court and it's going to be hard to stop us because we are going to respond stuff like super easily and quickly. And that's what I see in that 3 days. Like if somebody wants to do something and change the defense, like there's so many players on the court who can read the same thing at the same time. So I'm really excited about that, yeah.
Hi, Sevi. Tia
Hi.
Reed for the next. Obviously, you came over with Kalani and Satu.
Yes.
How does having that familiarity with them from last season help in trying to figure out this new system and really understanding their styles of play and how it can work and what Nate wants you all to accomplish?
I mean, we kind of like when you're in this spot, your role changes based on the teams. And I think Satu, Lani, and I like came from a different system. Now we're in something like completely different. But I can see that we're just so excited to like learn and come together and like just compete. So whatever it is, like however it's gonna look like, we don't know right now because it's still new, but we know more or less. I know it's gonna be something fun. That's all matters. Yeah. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.